Hey everyone, welcome back to Colourful Indian. I'm so happy to have you here. My name is Ranita and I have a passion for makeup. I absolutely love testing out palettes and giving you my thoughts on them. So today I'm getting into a new brand. This is a UK brand and it is called Cosmic Brushes. Now Cosmic Brushes has actually released many palettes and I never, tried any of them out. I saw this new collection that was the COOLTRALS and Neutrals collection and I thought, you know what, I really would like to test this out and see what these, shades are like. So this is the COOLTRALS video. I'll have a separate one for the Neutrals one. Now this palette has got 20 shades here and I want to test out every single shade so that you know what you're getting when you purchase this palette. I'll be giving you thoughts on the formula, how it works, whether it creased, whether it didn't crease, all of that and more in this video. So if you're interested, then you want to keep watching this. And I also will have swatches and product shots for you, so you basically get everything in one video. So I have a plan for my eyeshadows. I'm going to be doing 5 shades on each eye. So we're going to basically be going row by row, and that way we have 4 looks and I test everything out and you get to see every single shade being used on my eyes. So let's get right into all of that. Looks 1 and 2 are going to be this row over here and that row. Alright, so the first row over here has these 3 mattes. So I'm going to be going in with Grounded, which is that one there first. And then I'm going to kind of like buff it out maybe with those 2. And then of course we're going to apply those 2 beautiful shimmers over there. So let's begin. Starting off with Grounded, which is the deepest shade. And it looks like a pretty little mauve. So I'm going to start by getting Grounded onto my lids. So this kind of looks like a shade that goes very beautifully with my skin color, so I'm happy about that. My skin is a neutral tan, by the way. So, oh, this really feels so nice and so natural. So I like that. Very, very pretty. Okay, let's get in for the next 2. There's Stone Cold and Eternal, so I'm going to go in with Stone Cold, which is that. And I'm going to put that right over here in the inner corners. And look at how pigmented that is. Oh my gosh. Did I just cut my crease without even intending to cut my crease? Because I totally think I did. And that's kind of like a brownish shade, but it's coming off more gray on my skin tone. And next I'm going in with Eternal, which is kind of like a peachy kind of toned shade over there. So let's see how that one looks. I'm going to put that in the middle. I'm going to connect it to that mauve shade so you can see how these are both looking on me. I actually like it. I think they both look very pretty. It's not the kind of look that I do every day though. Wow, just look at that. Okay, so that is 3 of those shades on my eyes. Now I'm gonna go in and finish up that side too. So we're gonna dip into the shades from the second row. So I'm gonna start with the deepest one, then we're gonna go with that one and then the pink one. So that's gonna be Shadow. So okay, let's get Shadow here. I don't want my eyes to be too black because that's gonna be very, very dramatic then. So I'm gonna just kind of smoothen and buff it out a bit, blend that out, because it becomes very, 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 very overly dramatic, and I don't think that my eyes look necessarily good like that anymore. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Natural, which is a purple toned deep shade from what I'm looking at. I'm getting that onto my eyes. I'm not seeing a huge, oh, I can see it in the camera. Okay, so from my mirror I can't, maybe because the lighting's a little lighter. But okay, this is that purple going on there. And I need to kind of cut a crease here too, because otherwise it's, this is not going to look that good. Okay, so I have the color Crave. Now Crave is like a baby pink shade, so it's pretty interesting. I'm gonna take that and kind of do what I did on the other side and just, yeah, do it like that and get my colors on there. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's basically that. I'm gonna blend natural in just a little bit more with that pink shade. Now, of course, if you want to get like the truest color showing up and you have a deeper skin tone like me, then you're going to have to use a white base. I've kind of moved away from using white bases because it takes a lot of time and effort, and most of the time when I'm heading out and everything, I don't actually use a white base. So I just started doing my makeup like how I normally do it. Okay, so this is the most exciting part for me. We're going to be going in with the shimmer. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmers. So these two are obviously going to be for the first, like that's the first row. They're going to be for that side, and these two are going to be for this side. So I have to go in with another coat of my base. This is the shade Slate, and I'm going to put Slate onto my lid. Okay, so that's Slate. It's very smooth, by the way, and when I put my finger in to pick Slate up, I just got color on my hand like immediately. So it's a very nice smooth formula, and I have oily lids, so I have to go in with my base before I wear colors like this, otherwise they honestly do not last. They crease and it just becomes a big mess for me. So yeah, you can see what that looks like. It's very, very pretty. Now here we come in with some Drama, which is in the shade Gravitate. Also a very smooth shade. I love the formula so far. So let's get some of Gravitate on my lid, and I'm going to take that into the middle because I want Gravitate to kind of be the star of the show. It's just too pretty to not be the star. Oh gosh, this is butter. Oh my goodness, this is like butter, honestly. The shimmers are so good. I love it. Just look at that. Wow, absolutely gorgeous. It's actually so cool toned. Even though there's color there, I'm actually really surprised that it's looking this way. So this is the shift that I'm getting from that shade. It's really, really pretty. But it's also managing to be kind of cool toned and matching with that initial first row, which I really, really like. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Moonlight. I got it on my brush and I got my base on, so I'm just applying Moonlight here to my eye. I decided to go in with a brush because I'm never able to get this eye very neat when I go in with my finger. So I thought this would be okay. So I think it looks nice. I mean, it's a, you know, typical silver. So that looks okay. And I'm going in with the shade Secret, which is a kind of like lavender purple next. And that's what it looks like on the brush. So I'm going to put that right here. Kind of just blend those two together. I'm going to go in and reinforce some of those matte colors, especially on this side, because I feel like they've kind of disappeared. So I'm gonna put Natural, which is that matte purple here, just to get more of that there. And I'm going in with Shadow, just the black shade. Hello, this is what looks 1 and 2 are turning out to be. I've gone in with Saint. This is a Lime Crime Velveteen for my lips. For my face and foundation, I've gone in with Yensa. That is my staple brand. Like, I absolutely love Yensa. This is the shade 10 Neutral, and this one has SPF. So if you're looking for a foundation for very dry skin, I cannot say enough good things about Yensa. I absolutely love them. For my mascara, I've gone in with Too Faced. This is a primer, and I've also gone in with Benefit. I also use these 2 eye pencils for my eyeliner. So these are from Temu. They cost about 70 cents. You can go online and find them. They work okay. They're not my favorite ones, but they'll do for the look because they kind of match the colors from the eyeshadows. So I felt like, you know, it was good to go in with these. This is basically all that I've done to complete the look. I wanted to test out the Bare Minerals Complexion Blush and Bronzer. They're calling it a blonzer. So I kind of want to see how this will look on me because it kind of seems like the shade would look really nice on me. I got this through my Ipsy and I was really happy with it. So I just took off the seal and I'm gonna take a little bit onto my hand, not too much. I actually took a bit too much, I think, and I'm gonna put just a bit on my skin. Oh gosh, I feel like I put way too much, but yeah, I think like that is enough. But look at that side. How am I gonna blend that out? I really like this. I kind of feel like this is so unbelievably natural and just so smooth. Oh my gosh, I can't get over that. Okay, so yeah, that's basically my makeup details for you. We finished 10 shades. Let me just give you feedback on the first 10. So I can see very easily that the shimmers are very fascinating quality, because I feel like the shimmers have a very fascinating formula because they're very smooth and yet they're so pigmented. So I really like the way that they are looking. I'm just looking at my eyes, and can you see that? There's absolutely no creasing. Like, this formula is insane. It's so good. I'm honestly blown away. Like, I have never tried Cosmic Brushes before, and I'm blown away by the formula. It is so good. Even on this side, look at my eyes. Oh my gosh, like, this is just with a brush. Like, the formula is crazy. That is one of the smoothest formulas I have ever tried in my entire life. Like, I'm really mind blown right now, because I was expecting to see at least a little bit of creasing. None. That blows my mind. The mattes are good. You saw what they look like. Of course, this over here is the shade Crave, which is a baby pink, and you can see how that baby pink shows up on my skin tone. It actually looks more like a white than a baby pink on my eyes. That's just a skin tone thing. So if you are my skin tone or deeper, you want to get like the true pink, you're gonna have to go in with a white base. But honestly, I don't know, the formula is incredible. Like, I am seriously blown away. I cannot believe that I didn't try this brand earlier, and now I'm like, okay, I need to go and get all of their other palettes, because I feel like I have missed out on something amazing. Okay, so I'm really excited about this. I'm going to go on to the next looks. That'll be looks 3 and 4. Alright, so next we're going to be doing this column here for look 3 and this one for look 4. Hey, welcome back. We're going in for looks 3 and 4. So now I'm going to go in with this row and this row. Of course, we're going to be starting off with the mattes. I've already got my base on. So I'm going to be going in with the deepest one. So that'll be Midnight, then Hidden, and then Cooltral. And then down here, there's 3 shimmers, but I'm still going to go in with Eclipse because that is a sparkly black shade. So I think that will be good. And then we'll go in with Intuition here and Attract. So I'm going in first with Midnight. That's going to be for the third look. It's a navy kind of blue. Looks very pigmented and very pretty. And oh my goodness, look at the way that looks. That is so pretty. That is how I like my shades. Oh yeah. That's very pigmented. And I definitely like the way this is looking. Just going to take it down a bit here. And just leave it like that. I may take this up just a wee bit more. May blend it out, but that is a really lovely color, very pigmented. I'm so happy with the way that looks. Now I'm going in for the shade Hidden, which looks so pigmented as well. Honestly, every time I dip into one of these shades, I'm just like, wow, this is super pigmented. Okay, so I'm gonna just put it here, kind of connecting that with the first shade. You can see how that looks. I think it's really pigmented and it gives a really nice effect. Just gonna take and put a little bit more here. But yeah, you can see that blue. Oh, that's so pretty. That is so pretty. I think it's showing up a little bit brighter on the camera because I'm looking at it here. It's not as bright. It's more of a muted color, but it's still very pigmented and I love that. Next, I'm going in with the shade Cooltral, which looks like a gray shade over here. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and put it here. Just here. I don't think I'm going to be taking that like all the way down because I don't really feel like I need to. So it's kind of like the last shade, and it's going to probably get covered a bit too because I'm going to go in with the shimmers now. So that's going to be the mattes for that side. Now let's go in for the other side. I'm going in with the shade Eclipse, which is the sparkly black shade over there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, following the same shape and everything. This is the deepest shade, so I just felt like it had to go on there first. This actually reminds me of when I was studying in school, because you know, when I was a child, we didn't have a lot of colors and eyeshadows and everything that were suitable for my skin tone. So I remember we were doing some stuff and like we were doing this thing, it's called Honors Day in my school, where we would have this big performance right at the end. I'm just going to go in with Intuition next and then Attract over here. But essentially there was this girl who, you know, we were all like in the rooms doing our makeup, and I was quite young at this time, so this girl was older than me, but she had this palette and it had this black eyeshadow with sparkles in it, and I remember she didn't want us using any shades except that black shade. She wasn't okay with us doing that, so I remember, yeah, we just ended up using that one shade. And when I saw this black thing, I was immediately taken back to like my school days. It just reminded me of that moment. Okay, so that's Intuition, and I really like the way that that's blended in. So honestly, the formula for this is amazing. Okay, and this over here is the shade Attract, and I'm just gonna put it over here. Let's see if it looks that much different. So I can honestly say that I feel like a lot of these shades are looking very similar on me, probably because I'm not using a white base. Like I feel like I would get the true color, you know, of each thing if I was doing a white base for my eyes, but it kind of feels like there's some repetitive colors and shades coming through, because this is like, you know, this is the third row, which is these shades here. And then on this side is this row here, and you can see how similar those colors are kind of looking. Like you can see there is a difference, but I think especially for grayer shades, sorry, I poked myself in the eye. So especially for grayer shades here, they just kind of do look a bit more similar on me. But I still love the formula of these, and I just feel like if I used a white base, they would definitely be looking very different. Alright, so I'm doing this one eye at a time. So I'm going to go in with this blue and then that shade over there. So this one, this is in Affinity, and it's very smooth by the looks of it. And this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go and I'm going to stamp that over here. I'm going to put that gray shade in the inner corners, but I love the way this is looking. It's very, very creamy. Okay, so this is kind of like a slightly different formula than the one that I used for looks 1 and 2, I think, because those were very, very buttery, but this one actually has a bit of a creaminess to it. The other one was like the first shades that I used were very, very smooth to the point where it just felt very different. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Tempting. Tempting kind of looks like it's got a purple gray kind of hue to it. So I'm going to apply that in the inner corners, and hopefully I'll do it neat. And hopefully I'll do this neatly, because otherwise it's just gonna suck that I ruined a look. Oh, this is so pretty. This is the look. It's so pretty, isn't it? Oh, I love that. Wasn't even expecting to do a combination like this. I don't think I ever have, but I like that, and I like the way that they're both, they just blend into each other. That's very, very nice. Okay, so that's one eye done. Let's do the next one. I'm just going to grab my base and get that on. I was probably most excited for this shade in the palette because I just love colors like that. So we're going to do this one in the middle and this in the inner corner. So I'm going in for Magnetic, so it looks like this. It's a beautiful, like purpley kind of shade. I thought that it had a shift, but I could have been wrong, and I'm just going to put that here, and you can see what that looks like and how it's just, oh, that's just a royal purple shade. It's so beautiful. I love that color so much. That is probably the one shade in the palette that made me feel if I don't have it, I'll really regret, you know, not getting this. So anyway, I'm going in with the next one, which is Reveal, and I'm gonna do that with my brush because I always make a mess if I go in with my fingers. So this is the color Reveal. It had a white base, so I kind of feel like if I did this on different colors, it would show up very differently. But yeah, this is essentially what Reveal looks like. Wow, these colors are stunning. Honestly, they're beautiful. I just wanted to show you, I am having a little bit of fallout, as you can see here. There's a little bit of fallout happening, but it's not significant. So all you have to do in a moment like that is just take a little bit of micellar water, take some cotton pads, and then just lightly dab, and it's going to remove all of that, and then go over that with your foundation. So I'm going to do all of that. I will be right back. Hey everyone, this is looks 3 and 4 completed. Now let me just give you the makeup details. Kept it very simple here. I went in with my Yensa Skin on Skin BC foundation. Now this is a foundation that has SPF 40, and it is excellent for dry skin. So if you've been looking for a foundation that you need for your skin, this is one to try out. It also has Bacachil, and Bacachil works essentially like retinol, except you don't need to be too like concerned with sunscreen and stuff when you're doing that. With retinol, you absolutely have to wear sunscreen. So if you want to go and check that foundation out, you totally can. I went in for Bare Minerals on my cheeks. I did the same thing that I did for the first look, and I think I applied this better. I think I figured out how to. The first time I did a bit too much, and then I had to spread it everywhere. So I kind of feel like this is the right amount. It's just a teeny little dab. Like I don't even need more than that, and that's enough. Now I did see this lasting for more than for about 6 hours, I would say, yesterday, because I wore the look. I was actually going to finish up these two looks on the same day, but because it was 4th of July, people started blasting off fireworks, and I was like, okay, my camera is going to be capturing every single firework, so I was like, I'm just going to take a day off and not film anything today. But essentially, yeah, this is what it looks like, and it's fantastic. If you want to go pick up anything from Bare Minerals, I have a code, and I absolutely love the way that this performed. It was so freaking good. And for my mouth, I went in with this. This is one of the lip glosses from the Pokemon set by Colourpop. I don't know, I thought that I would see a bit more blue on my mouth, or at least a little bit more pink, because you can kind of see this is a bluish gloss, but it's very like, it's like this. Kind of just looks like any other gloss. So I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't have like a bit more color. It's very light. Only when I come up close, I'm actually seeing these pink sparkles, like over there. But I kind of wish it was a bit more, because like when you're looking at a color like this, it's so blue, you'd want to see more, right? So I'm a little disappointed with that. Now for my eyeshadow base, I went in with Alter Ego. I always use this. It's one of my favorites, one of the best, and I highly recommend it. For my eyeliner, I went in with a P. Louise calls these acid rain paints. So this is the shade Ecstasy, and I've had this for forever, and it just goes on and on and on. You can actually see the eyeliner right there. So this is it's actually the paint, and it is so freaking good. It will not come off no matter what you do. Let's get into rating the beautiful COOLTRALS palette. Now I do have some points I want to make, and I also want to mention that it's raining heavily outside, so you may hear thunder. Okay, I'll try and edit those parts out, but honestly my walls are paper thin. You can hear someone sneezing outside. That's how badly they built these apartments. So anyway, let me get into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is the formula and how I liked it. Okay, so the formula here is kind of like very, very pigmented. All of the mattes worked very well. I liked every single one. I did not have a single problem with this. The shimmers, it's kind of like you have some that are extremely creamy. Like I kind of feel like Reveal over here, and then this color over here, they have more of a creamy consistency. The others kind of just come across as very smooth kind of shades that go on. Now, I'm not saying that those two are not smooth. They are also smooth, but I did notice a difference in the formula, because these are just very smooth. Like you just press your hand, like this one especially, you just press your hand in and you just smooth it out, and it shows up like that. It's just gorgeous. I didn't see any creasing yesterday, by the way. Even like when I was removing my makeup, I thought it was just fantastic. Color wise and everything, I did notice similar things that I've noticed in other palettes. Like when you have a skin tone like mine, certain colors just show up very similar on your skin tone. So I think that if you have fairer skin, you're probably going to be able to create looks like a lot more looks, like that look very diverse, because I did see that there were certain shades that I was applying that would just show up as gray on me, and it was quite surprising to see that. But that's just something I've noticed, especially with cool tones. That's just something that happens. So it's not really a criticism, it's just kind of saying, hey, if you have a deeper skin tone, then just know that this is what you're gonna get. Now let me move into the finishes. You basically have like gorgeous shimmers here. You've got your mattes, you've got, I think this is a multi-chrome. I'm not sure if Gravitate is a multi-chrome or a duochrome, but I think it is a multi, because I'm actually seeing green, gold, and pink when I take this on my finger and I look at it. So I'm going to say that this is a multi. I think it's beautiful though. I like that color. It's kind of like a muted version of what I have from Give Me Glow, because I know Give Me Glow has a shade that's just like that. It's the pink, the golds, the greens, really, really gorgeous, but it's a lot more vibrant in terms of color. So I was immediately thinking of that color. I was trying to think whether I have anything like this from Terra Moons, but I don't think I do. I don't think I have anything like that in my Cleona collection either. So this is like a muted kind of multi-chrome, perfect for cool tones. So I feel like putting that in there was actually a good decision because it matches so well with cool tones. If it was like more vibrant, then I would say that would go better with a warm toned palette. This is what I'm talking about. The Fiesta shade from Give Me Glow is that one, and this one is the Gravitate shade from the palette. And you can already see there's a massive difference. You know, even the shifts are different. That's a very bright green in comparison to what I'm seeing. So I'm just going to take my hand downwards so that you can see more and more. See, it's become gold now and a brownish kind of shade. I wouldn't say bronze, but it looks brown, a cool toned brown. And then if I take it down even further, you can see that it's kind of changing into like a pink, like a rose gold on one side and a purple on another side. So they're definitely like a lot of shifts coming through from these shades, and they're very different. So I kind of was immediately reminded of the shade Fiesta because that's one of my favorite shades, and I was thinking, I wonder if this is the same. But you can see like immediately from here that the shifts are definitely very, very different. This is a more neutral version, I think, of the shade Fiesta. So it actually fits in here very well. Now, the pigmentation, as you saw, was fantastic. I felt like it's amazing. It shows up so beautifully on my skin. I love the way that even all of this showed up. I was so impressed by that. Like, this is my very first time trying Cosmic Brushes, and I really regret not trying their earlier palettes, not purchasing any of them, because I feel like I have missed out on something incredible here. You know what? I absolutely love the formula, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I feel like even pigmentation wise, it's fantastic. I don't actually feel like these shadows actually show, you know, like creasing at all. It's very minimal. Like, I think today there's a little bit, maybe just like the tiniest bit, but it's so insignificant, which is kind of normal, like when you wear eyeshadows. But I actually feel like there's virtually zero creasing with this. Like, honestly, like even the first two looks that I did, if you go and look at that, I was blown away by the way that the formula was. I was so impressed. There was minimal fallout. I think for this one, there was slightly more fallout. Maybe the formulas of some of these shades were a bit different. Like, for example, Midnight and Eclipse, which are those deeper shades. Like, this is Midnight over here, and that's Eclipse. So maybe those, you know, kind of, I did see a bit of fallout happening there. But yesterday, I actually didn't see that much with the first two looks. So I kind of feel like that's also maybe like slightly different formulas and everything. But it's not, again, it's not significant. You know, like there are some shades that are very dusty. When you dip into them, they literally just turn to powder in the pan. And I'm not necessarily a fan of that, because the more powdery a shade is, the more it affects my chronic rhinitis, and then my body just wants to sneeze everything out. So I felt like this was actually really, really good in that sense. It had minimal, you know, powder and everything when I was putting my brush into the pan. Now, I feel like this worked very well with a base. I actually don't use products anymore without a base, because I feel like, you know, when I use a base, my colors actually stay on for much longer. So because of that, I just use a base for everything, and, you know, it just works for me, especially in humid countries. I think I made this point when I went to Malaysia about 7 months ago. I actually took my NYX mixing medium with me, and I wore, like, you know, Terra Moons or something, I can't remember. I wore a multi-chrome when I went out, because I was like, you know, hey, I'm on holiday, I want to have fun, I want to showcase my beautiful makeup. It was a disaster. The NYX mixing medium, with the humidity, with everything, my makeup melted, and I was so embarrassed because I came back home, I looked at my eyes, and I was like, oh my gosh, it had creased, everything sucked. And that's when I switched over to this, which is the Alter Ego eyeshadow base. Thank God I had brought one of these with me, because I would have cried if I didn't have a base in KL. So I immediately switched over to my Alter Ego base in KL, and I noticed a massive difference. There was no creasing. My makeup lasted in hot, humid weather. This is perfect if you're in Florida, and if you haven't tried this, you should be trying this out, because it makes your makeup stay in ways that no other base has made it stay for me. So I'm not even interested in other bases at this point. I'm just using Alter Ego. I have a code with them. It's on the screen. You can use that as Rhinta. I think you get like 10% off or something. I don't know. It's not an affiliate code, so I'm not earning anything from this by telling you this. I'm telling you this because I really, really believe in the product. products. Okay, let's just talk about the color story. Now, I do think this is a beautiful, cool toned color story. I think that it's very, very pretty, and I like the fact that they gave us like a nice mix of like pinks and some browns over here, and then of course, you know, they've also given us like purples and blues. I think that it's a nice color story. I mean, I wanted to try this because I just feel like it just was so gorgeous when I saw the photos. I don't have a ton of cool tone palettes in my collection, by the way. I've actually noticed that. I never noticed it before, but I don't actually have a lot of cool tone palettes. The other cool toned palette that I do have in my collection is probably the Amy Loves one, and I did feel like there were a few tones in here that kind of reminded me of Amy Loves. Like I feel like I could get maybe similar looks from that palette and this. You can see what the colors are like. Now, of course, Amy Loves definitely has like some brighter shades, and it has holochromes in here. It's a very special palette. It's got some beautiful pinks and everything, which I feel are more pronounced in comparison to the pinks in this palette, because I just feel like the pinks are very different. So this one kind of has more purple toned pinks, more mauves. This one is more feminine, girly kind of pinks. And then you can see that there are those two blue shades over there, which also look similar, but they're not. So you can definitely see like similarities here. And the thing for Amy Loves over here is that the cool tones did show up similar on me as well, because again, it's just a skin tone thing. If you have a skin tone that is deeper, there are certain shades that are going to show up the same on you, but they will look very different on lighter skin tones. I feel like this is like an extension in some ways of the Amy Loves palette. It's not exactly the same. I'll put up my swatches, like that's photographs of my Amy Loves in this so that you can actually see it. But I feel like this is still pretty different. You know, I don't really consider them the same, but I'll show you the swatches anyway so that you can see for yourself and you can make your own informed decision about this. Amy Loves definitely doesn't have a shade like Gravitate over here. I think that her shade was more blue, and I love those shades though. Like these were beautiful, like Lavender and Indie were just gorgeous. They were so pretty. Even Pisces was just stunning. So I had a lot of fun with this palette because I don't have a lot of cool tone color stories in my collection. So I kind of feel, like I said, that this is merely an extension for me. So I'm kind of happy with it. Alright, so this is a comparison between the Amy Love shades, which are on the top over here, and then we have the COOLTRALS palette, which is, you know, the bottom row of my arm over here. I just wanted to show you that this is the reason why I said I felt like the COOLTRALS palette is kind of like an extension of the Amy Loves palette, because it kind of feels like it's giving off a similar vibe, doesn't it? Like you can see that there were several very similar shades in terms of the browns and the blacks, which did show up very similar on my eyes when I was doing the Amy Loves review. And I actually mentioned, yeah, it is coming across as very similar for my eyes. And then when I turn my hand here, you're able to see that there are several blues, there are several purples. It's kind of like it's riding on that collection and an extension of that collection. So it kind of like has slight differences, but the same kind of vibe, if you ask me. And of course, the formula of Adept shimmers are incredible. I really like the formula of everything all in all. I mean, you know, either way, I think you'll win. It just depends on like what kind of colors you like more. I feel like the Adept palette definitely has a few more special shades. Like you can see those two top ones, that's Pisces and Lavender over there, which have such beautiful shifts. I feel like the shine is also a bit more. But if you come here, then these are like just different, you know, it's like a different formula. Yeah, well, I'm just making comparisons because that was the one palette that, you know, I was reminded of as I was trying this. I felt like, oh, okay, I'm kind of getting a similar vibe from this. So if you have Amy Loves, you'll kind of understand the vibe that I'm talking about. Okay, so let's talk about packaging. So this palette obviously has rounded edges. It's got a mirror, and you know, I kind of like the packaging. I think that it worked really well for, you know, just distinguishing cool tones and warmer tones, which is, you know, in the neutral palette and everything. So I thought it was nice, and this also has a slip cover, so you can just kind of secure it, which I think is really great. I don't feel like we need, you know, boxes. Like this is very, very efficient. Once you've got that in there, it's going to stay there and it's protected. So I like the packaging. I thought it was nice. So I feel like the only con for me was just the fact that certain shades ended up looking pretty similar on my eyes, but this is again a skin tone thing. So I think that if you have a lighter skin tone, you will definitely see more of a variation in the way that the colors show up for you. This is a summer makeup release, and I was wondering how this color story would actually work during the summer, and I think that the blues would actually be beautiful because, as you can see, this looks really beachy. It looks perfect. Like if you want to look like a mermaid, you can. I really love the way that the colors are working. Honestly, they're very smooth and just so pretty, and I can't stop looking at my eyes and going, wow, they're so smooth and so pretty. I love the formula and I love the shades in here. So I do think that this could work for summer. If you're looking for something that's a bit more muted, you can always go up there. Now, there are obviously a lot more color combinations that you could do with this. I was going row by row, but who's saying that you have to stick with that? You can do multiple looks by, you know, just mixing it up and being as creative as you want. I'm going to be doing one more look with this as I'm doing a collaboration with a friend, so you can stay tuned for that. It'll be a separate video, but I just want to say that, you know, there are definitely a lot more combinations you can do, and I'm going to explore that in my fifth look. So in terms of uniqueness, I feel like maybe this is not the most unique color story, but I mean, I can't really blame any brands because I do feel like, you know, with indie makeup, we're just coming out with a lot of, you know, palettes. We're coming up with a lot of color stories. If you don't have cool tones in your collection, this is probably going to be a great palette to invest in because you get 20 gorgeous shades. I feel that, you know, I don't have that many cool tones. So when I saw this come out, I was like, you know what, let me try and get this because I would love to have a bigger collection of cool toned palettes. I generally have warm toned ones and jewel toned ones, but cool tones not a big, you know, collection. And of course a lot of colors end up looking like gray on me from cool tone palettes, so I didn't actually know that until I had tried, you know, like Amy Loves, and then I tried this one and I was like, oh, okay, so I guess it's the same thing. It's just cool tones have this thing about them. I would say that COOLTRALS is a very strong effort from Cosmic Brushes. I think that it is a really lovely palette. So let me know if you pick this up, if you're looking forward to, you know, trying out, you know, this brand, and if you've actually tried out the brand before, then, you know, you've obviously known how good this is. I'm very happy that I got the palette. I don't have regrets because I didn't actually realize how good Cosmic Brushes is. So I'm very excited about that. So I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July with your friends and family. I'll see you soon here. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye.